The cold wind blew through the metal cages. Each cage held a human. Some were old, some young. Some cried quietly. Some sat still like statues, but no one spoke. Not anymore. This was the auction pit of Zarnok Prime, a place where humans were. Sold like pets. The aliens walked by, staring into the cages with glowing eyes and sharp teeth. They pointed, laughed, and made jokes in languages humans could not understand. One girl sat in the last cage. Her name was Kayla. She was 16. Her clothes were torn, her face was dirty, and her hands were chained. But her eyes were not like the others. While others looked afraid or broken, Kayla's eyes were cold, sharp, watching. She said nothing. Next one. A robotic voice shouted. Her cage opened with a loud metal clang. A guard dragged her out by the chains. A tall alien with red skin and black armor walked forward. This was General Vorox, one of the most feared warriors in the galaxy. He was not here to buy. He was here to mock. What is this? Vorox laughed. A human child? She looks too weak to even stand. The other aliens laughed with him. Kayla stood up slowly, staring straight at him. Not with fear, but with calm. Vorox walked around her. Useless. Maybe she can sing, dance? Or maybe she can scrub the floors? Still, Kayla did not speak. She just watched him. All right, Vorox finally said. I'll take her, for fun. The auctioneer handed him the chains. Kayla was now his. On board the warship Ravager's Claw, Kayla sat in a small dark room. Her cell was barely big enough to lie down. No windows. No light, except from a small vent on the ceiling. Every few hours, a robotic arm pushed dry food through a slot. Water came from a pipe on the wall. Cold and rusty. She didn't complain. She didn't scream. She waited. Outside, the warship moved through space. It was one of the largest ships in the galaxy, a flying city of death. Thousands of aliens worked under General Vorox. They feared him, respected him, followed him, inside his private chambers. Vorox spoke with his second-in-command, Commander Drask. That human girl, Drask said. She is strange, Vorox laughed. She's small, weak. What could she do? She's a pet. But the sensors, Drask began. Forget the sensors, Vorox said. Put her with the other human slaves. Let her clean floors. But she never went to clean. That night, something strange happened. The flicker lights across the ship suddenly blinked. Power dropped for 2 seconds. Just 2. But long enough for systems to reset. On the security screen, a guard saw Kayla sitting cross-legged in her cell. Around her, the air shimmered. Just for a moment. Then, it stopped. The power returned. Lights came back. Everything looked normal again. The guard scratched his head. Weird. He reached to zoom in on her face. Kayla slowly turned her head and looked straight at the camera. The guard jumped back. A visitor 2 days later. A new guest arrived on the warship. An alien noble named Lord Yarok. He was from the High Council. Important, arrogant, dangerous. He asked for a tour of the human display. Vorox took him to the cages. They passed men, women, children, all broken, tired, sick. Then they stopped at Kayla. Ah, Yarok said. This one still has fire in her eyes. Still thinks she matters. Vorox smiled. I keep her for entertainment. She's harmless, Yarok said. Just a pretty animal. You should train her to bow. Vorox laughed again. Maybe I will. Kayla watched them. She didn't blink. Secrets of the past. That night, Kayla sat in her cell, thinking of Earth. She remembered the fire, the sky burning red as the alien ships came. She remembered her mother's voice. You're different. Kayla, you carry something inside you, something powerful, something old. Her father had died first. Then her mother. She had been taken while screaming, trying to protect a younger boy. She never saw that boy again, but her mother's words stayed. Now, in this cold ship, she could feel it. Something inside her was waking up. Slowly, carefully, she closed her eyes. Air around her warmed. The first death in the lower decks. One alien guard patrolled alone. He had watched Kayla earlier. He felt something was wrong about her. As he passed by the power core room, he heard a soft noise. A hum. Then everything went black. His screams were never heard. In the morning, his body was found dry like paper, eyes wide, skin pale blue. No wounds, no blood, just empty. The doctors called it a heart collapse. No one believed it, but the camera near the hallway, it had burned out. Whispers now, the crew whispered. The human girl, she didn't speak. She looked at me like she knew me. Something is wrong. But Vorox ignored them. She's just a pet, he told everyone. If she causes trouble, I'll throw her into space. But in secret, he began watching her more closely. He installed a new camera in her cell. One with heat sensors. One that could read her brain waves. The results shocked him. Her body wasn't normal. Her brain activity was 10 times stronger than a human's. Her heart rate changed when she stared at machines. Vorox called in his science officer. What is this? He asked. The officer shook his head. I don't know. Maybe she's evolved. Or maybe she's something else. Plans that night, Vorox stood outside her cell. Kayla sat in the same position, eyes closed. He stared at her for a long time. You think you're hiding something, he said through the speaker. But I will find it. I will cut it out of you. She opened her eyes slowly, then she smiled. A small smile, cold, confident. Vorox frowned and walked away. The dream Kayla didn't sleep like normal humans. When she closed her eyes, she saw shapes, stars, ancient machines. A great hand reaching out from the void. She saw humans as they once were, powerful, united, glowing with energy. A lost civilization. Her mother had said it was in her blood. She didn't understand it fully. But she could feel it growing stronger every day, inside her. Something was waiting. The final warning. Commander Drask came to see Vorox. Sir, he said, we need to do something. The crew is afraid. That girl, she's not normal. Vorox slammed his fist on the table. She's a human, just a girl. She's more than that, Drask whispered. Vorox looked out the window into space. Then let's test her. The test begins. Kayla woke up strapped to a metal table. Bright lights above her eyes. Cold tools on her skin. Aliens stood around her, whispering, writing notes. Vorox entered the room. Let's see what you really are, he said. Kayla didn't move. The machine started. Scans ran across her body. Electric pulses hit her nerves. Blood was taken. Skin. Samples. Brain scans. But the more they tested, the more the machines failed. Screens cracked. Lights burst. A scanner exploded. The scientist stepped back. Kayla opened her eyes. I warned you, she said softly. The ending later that night. Vorox stood in the control room, watching the video. He watched her burn through steel with her hands. He watched the guards run from her. He watched her whisper, and the machines obeyed. And at the end of the video, she looked. The ship was quiet, too quiet. Outside, stars passed by as the Ravager's claw moved through deep space. Inside, the mood had changed. Whispers filled the halls. Fear crept like a shadow. One name now traveled from one alien to another. Kayla. Human girl. The one they said had no power. The one who burned the scanner with her touch. The one who smiled as machines failed around her. Silence. Before the storm. Kayla sat on the cold floor of her new cell. A reinforced one with energy walls. And guards at every door. Still chained. Still watched. But Kayla didn't care. She didn't try to escape. Not yet. She waited. The guards watched her through the glass. Whispering nervously, one said, "She hasn't moved for hours. Is she even breathing?" Another replied, "Does it matter? She's not human, not anymore." They were right. Something inside Kayla had changed. Since the last test, she had stopped feeling pain. Her heart beat slower now. Her thoughts were faster. Her skin was warmer, even in freezing air. She could hear machines humming behind the walls. She could feel the power systems under her feet. She was becoming something else. Flashback. The fall of Earth. Kayla's mind drifted back. She saw fire in the sky. Earth cities falling. Alien ships covering the stars like shadows. She was just 12 when it happened. Her parents were scientists. They worked in a secret lab hidden underground. They weren't trying to build weapons. They were studying old things, forgotten. Human tech, strange stones, ancient symbols found deep under the ice. Her mother used to say, "We were powerful once, Kayla, before history was erased." And then they found it, a piece of old tech buried in the Arctic. Not alien, but not human either. At least not modern human. Kayla had touched it. It had burned her skin and changed her. Her parents tried to protect her. But when the aliens came, they took everything. Kayla was captured. Her parents were killed. And now, she was the last one who had touched the ancient device. The last one who carried its spark. Back to the present on the ship, General Vurox watched her from his command chair. His red skin glowed under the lights. His eyes were filled with curiosity and hunger. "This girl," he said to Commander Drask. "She's the key. I can feel it." Drask looked uneasy. "Or a curse. She's already killed 2 guards without touching them." Vurox stood. "She will serve me, or she will die." He pressed a button. "Bring in the mind probe. We go deeper this time." The mind probe Kayla was dragged into the lab again. But this time it wasn't simple tests. This time they brought the mind probe, a machine built to enter a being's thoughts, to read memories, to break secrets. Kayla was strapped in. Wires were placed on her head. A needle slid into her neck. The room went dark. Suddenly, she was inside her own mind, but she wasn't alone. She saw Vurox watching her through the machine. His voice echoed, "Show me what you are." Kayla stood in a black void, but all around her, pieces of her past floated, like broken mirrors. The machine tried to force memories forward. It pulled the memory of the artifact in the snow, the lab, her mother's voice, the fire. But then, something pushed back. A great energy deep inside her mind woke up. It wasn't human. It was something ancient. It spoke, not with words, with feeling. "You are not ready." And with that, the mind probe machine exploded. Aftermath. The lab was a mess. Sparks flew. 2 scientists were burned. Smoke filled the air. Kayla lay on the table, eyes open, chains broken. But she didn't attack. She sat up, calm and quiet. Vurox stepped back, unsure. For the first time, Kayla looked at him. "Don't try that again," she said softly. Then she fainted. Secret meeting later that day. In a dark corner of the ship, a group of aliens gathered. They were not guards or scientists. They were low-level workers, engineers, janitors, servants. One of them was Krez, a short alien with long fingers and blue eyes. "I saw her," Krez whispered. "She didn't move. But the machines broke." Another added, "The energy sensors showed a spike. From her cell. She's dangerous." "No," Krez said. "She's different. Maybe she can help." "Help?" someone asked. "Yes," Krez said. "You all know what Vurox is. A killer, a slaver. Maybe this girl can end him." A silence fell. Then someone nodded. "What do we do?" Krez replied. "We wait, and when she's ready, we help her." The second incident 2 days later, something strange happened again. A power outage, just like before, but this time, it was worse. The lights went out across 3 decks. Weapon systems shut down. Navigation froze, and at the center of it, Kella's cell. The security footage was fuzzy, filled with static, but for 2 seconds, a clear image appeared. Kayla was floating, not standing in midair. Her hair glowed, her eyes burned white. Her chains melted like ice. Then the screen went black. The responsive Virox slammed his fist on the command table. "I want her controlled," he shouted. "Put the inhibitor collar on her. She will resist," Drask warned. "Then break her neck," Virox growled. "I don't care. I want her power," Drask hesitated. "What if we can't control it?" Virox turned slowly. "Then we find someone who can." A choice that night, Krez snuck into the lower deck near Kayla's cell. He carried food. Real food. Not the dry blocks the guards gave. He tapped on the glass. Kayla sat in the shadows. She didn't move at first. Then she came forward. Krez placed the food on the tray. "I'm not like them," he whispered. "I know what you are. And I don't want to fight you." Kayla looked at him. "Why are you helping me?" Krez looked around nervously. "Because I believe. You're not here to destroy. You're here to change everything." Kayla took the food and gave a small nod. "Thank you," she said. Growth over the next few days. Kayla grew stronger. She started walking in her cell. Slow, careful steps. Like a lion pacing in a cage. She meditated. She stretched. She spoke less. Her control improved. Lights no longer exploded. Instead, they dimmed gently when she focused. She was learning to control the spark inside. Her. It was not easy. Pain came with every step. Headaches, visions, dreams of things she didn't understand, ancient machines, lost cities, glowing figures, standing in circles. But every time she felt like falling, she remembered her mother's words. "You carry something powerful, something old, and now." She believed it. A test Virox finally decided to test her in a different way. He ordered Kayla to be taken to the training ring, a giant arena in the center of the ship. Guards dragged her in chains to the metal floor, bright lights above. Hundreds of aliens watching from balconies. "This is for fun," Virox said through the speakers. "Survive, and maybe I'll let you eat real food." Kayla looked up, calm. The floor opened and a massive creature rose, tall as a building, with claws, metal skin, and 4 red eyes. A battle beast designed to kill. Kayla stood still. Beast roared. The crowd screamed in excitement. Then it charged. The fight at the last second. Kayla moved faster than any human should. She dodged the first claw, rolled under the beast's legs, and stood behind it. The crowd gasped. The beast turned. Kayla raised her hand. A wave of pressure hit the beast in the chest, hard enough to dent its armor. It stumbled. Kayla ran forward, climbed its back like a spider, and slammed her hand into its neck. A flash of light. The beast screamed and fell dead. The arena was silent. Kayla stood over it, breathing hard. Then she looked at Virox's balcony and raised her hand slowly. The lights above flickered. And every alien in the arena stepped back. The message after the match. Kayla was returned to her cell. Virox watched the replay 100 times. "She's no longer weak," he said. "She's something else." Drask nodded. "You called her powerless." Virox clenched his fist. "Then I was wrong." He looked into the dark screen where Kayla's image froze midair. The command deck was chaos. Alarms blared. Red lights flashed. Kayla stood calm, her eyes glowing softly. Around her, guards shouted orders, some fired weapons. But their shots passed through her like smoke. She moved fast, faster than anyone had seen. With a simple wave of her hand, the weapons were thrown away. Spinning like leaves, Virox's Virox watched from behind a thick glass window. His face was red with anger. How is this possible? He shouted. His second in command, Commander Drask, said quietly, "Her power grows, faster than we thought." Vurax slammed his fist on the wall. Capture her. Bring her to the lab. I want answers. The lab of horror Kayla was dragged into. The lab again. This place smelled of cold metal and burning wires. Straps held her down on a large metal table. Machines hummed around her, ready to test her, break her. Vurax stood over her, smiling cruelly. You think you are strong? He said. We will find your weakness. Kayla did not answer. The scientists worked. The lead scientist, a pale alien named Zyrax, approached. His eyes were cold, filled with curiosity. We will run new experiments, he said. First, they tested her strength, that she lifted heavy weights with ease. Then they tested her speed. She dodged every attack the robotic arms made. Finally, they tested her energy. They connected her to machines that measured power. Kayla's energy readings were off the charts. Zyrax frowned. This is beyond normal. The surprise attack suddenly. The lab shook, alarms screamed. Vurax's guards ran in. A group of rebels, led by Krez, stormed the lab. They had weapons, but mostly they had courage. Kayla! Krez shouted. We're here to help. The escape Kayla broke free of the straps. Her power surged. The machines exploded. Metal bent like paper. Zyrax screamed and ran. Vurax growled. Stop her! But the rebels fought hard. Kayla and Krez ran through the halls. The secret room. They reached a secret room. Deep in the ship, Krez opened a hidden panel. Inside was a small device. This can block Vurax's tracking, Krez explained. Kayla nodded. We need to get off this ship, she said. The revelation while resting. Kayla shared her story. I was on Earth, she said quietly, before the aliens took over. My parents told me about old powers humans lost. They found something ancient, a device. Kayla touched it. It changed me. Krez listened, eyes wide. Maybe you are the last hope, he said. The Plankres made a plan. They would sneak into the ship's control room. Take control. Send a message to human colonies. Tell them to fight back. Kayla agreed. The battle begins. They moved silently through dark corridors. Guards appeared. Kayla used her power to push them back. Krez fired his blaster. The rebels fought bravely. Near the control room, before they reached the control room, Vurax appeared. He blocked there. Wait. His armor shone in the red light. You think you can take my ship? He laughed. Kayla stepped forward. I will stop you. The fight. Vurax attacked. Kayla dodged quickly. She used her power to lift him off the ground. He struggled. Vurax smashed her with a heavy fist. Kayla fell. The moment of doubt. Kayla lay on the floor. Pain burned her side. Vurax smiled. This ends now. Kayla closed her eyes. But then, a small voice inside her called out, remember who you are. She opened her eyes. Power flowed through her again. The turnaround. Kayla stood. She glared at Vurax. Her hands glowed bright. She reached out. Vurax was thrown across the room. He hit the wall hard. Victory. The guards surrendered. The rebels cheered. Kayla took control of the ship. She sent a message to human colonies. We fight back, she said. The future. Kayla looked out the window. Stars stretched before her. She thought about Earth. She thought about the past. But now, she was ready. Kayla sat alone in her cell. Her body was tired. Her hands shook. But her mind was sharp. She remembered every moment of the fight in the arena, the crowd watching, the beast's roar. The energy that came from her hands, not rage, not fear, but something deeper. Power. Real power. It scared her. Not because she couldn't control it, but because she could. Rumors on the ship. The warship Ravager's claw was no longer the same. Every hallway echoed with whispers. She killed the battle beast. She didn't use a weapon. She stared at Vurax, and the lights died. Fear spread faster than fire. Even those who had once laughed at humans now looked over their shoulders. Some guards refused to go near her cell. Some even asked to be moved to other posts. Commander Drask watched from a distance. She's becoming a problem, he told General Vurox. Vurox said nothing. He sat in his throne, watching the video again, frame by frame. Kella's body glowing, her eyes white. The beast falling, her standing above it all like a queen. She's not a problem, Vurox finally said. She's a weapon. The offer 2 days later. Kella's door opened. Guards in heavy armor entered, holding blasters aimed at her. One of them held a black box with blinking lights. Kella stood calmly. Don't resist, one guard said. This is just a talk. She followed them. No chains this time. They took her to the high chamber, deep in the center of the ship. Only a few aliens had ever seen it. It was where Vurox made his most secret deals. The doors opened. Vurox stood near a large table, weapons and scrolls spread out in front of him. Sit, he said. Kella didn't move. I said sit, he growled. She stared at him. I'll stand. He smiled. Fine. He walked slowly around the table. You've surprised me, Kella. I thought you were just a weak human girl. But you've shown me something rare. She said nothing. I'm offering you a place, Vurox continued. Not as a slave. Not even as a fighter, as my second, my weapon, my right hand. Kella raised an eyebrow. You want me to work for you? I want you to rule with me, Vurox said. Together we could crush anyone. The other races fear you. That's good. Fear brings power. Kella didn't blink. You want me to become like you? No, he said, stepping closer. I want you to become more. She stared into his eyes. I will never help someone like you, she said. You kill for sport. You sell children. You think fear is power. But real power comes from something else. Vurox's smile faded. You'll regret this. Kella turned and walked out. The inhibitor. Vurox's patience was gone. She refuses to obey, he told Drask. She's too strong to kill now, Drask replied. What do we do? We break her, Vurox said. That night, Kella was grabbed from her cell. This time, they didn't ask. She was taken to the lab and strapped down to a thick steel table. A new machine stood beside her, black, sharp, and humming. It was the inhibitor, a collar designed to cut off special abilities. Once locked, it sent pain signals into the brain. It burned the nerves. It silenced the spark. Kella struggled. You think pain will stop me? No, Vurox said, walking into the room. But it will slow you down. The collar clicked shut. Kella screamed as the pain hit her head like fire. Her vision blurred. Her breath stopped. Her body collapsed. Days passed. Kella lay in her cell. Silent, shaking, the collar still locked on her neck. Her powers were gone, her senses dull. Even her dreams had turned dark. She saw shadows in her sleep, her mother's face turning away. Her own reflection cracking like glass, but something deep inside her refused to die. A small voice whispered, "This is not the end." She repeated it in her mind, again and again. This is not the end. The new order with Kella locked down. Vurox became bolder. He started attacking nearby human colonies. He broadcasted Kella's defeat to the galaxy. She was their strongest. He shouted, "And now she kneels." Aliens cheered. Some joined his army. Others sent him gifts. His power grew, but the whispers didn't stop. Krez and the secret group of low rank workers watched carefully. Krez sneaked close to her cell again. He saw her lying there, weaker than before, but her eyes still had fire. "Don't give up," he whispered. She looked at him. "I won't," she said. The spark returns one night, when the ship passed through a magnetic storm. The power flickered again, just for 1 second. The lights dimmed. Inhibitor collar clicked. Not off, but weaker, and Kella felt it. A small thread of her power returned. Not strong, not full, but enough to feel the walls. The machines. The energy flowing through the ship. She smiled. Just a little. Training in. Secret Krez returned the next day. He brought food again. But this time, something hidden under the tray, a small chip. Put it on the back of the collar, he whispered. Kayla nodded slowly. When the guards left, she reached behind her neck and pressed the chip to the collar. It blinked. And the pain stopped. Not fully, but enough for her to think clearly. Every day after that, she trained quietly. She moved her fingers in slow patterns, focused her thoughts, tried to feel the spark inside. It was weak, but it was still there. She was still Kaela. Another visitor. 1 week later, a group of high-ranking aliens came to visit the ship. They were leaders of other factions, powerful, dangerous. Vorox wanted to show off. He brought them to Kayla's cell. This, he said proudly, was the most dangerous human in the galaxy. Now look at her. She sat still, head down, the collar still on. One of the guests laughed. She looks like a rat. Useless, said another. Kayla didn't move, but inside, something boiled. One guest stepped too close to the glass. He knocked on it with his ring. Kayla looked up slowly, and his ring shattered. He stepped back in shock. She didn't move. He shouted. Vorox frowned. Enough, he said. Let's go, but now. Even the guests were unsure. Plans began. Krez and the others began to prepare. She's getting stronger, Krez said. We wait for the right moment. But when? One asked. Krez smiled. When the storm comes. The storm. A week later, a real space storm hit the ship. Lightning across the stars. Energy waves shaking the engines. The ship's shields failed for 10 seconds. 10 seconds was all Kayla needed. The collar sparked. Fell off. Her body straightened. Her hair floated. And the spark inside her roared. The guards ran. The door melted under her. Touch. She stepped out. Free. The rebellion began. Kayla didn't run. She walked. Through the smoke-filled halls, through panicked guards, through fire and broken lights. She reached the human slave quarters and broke their locks. Follow me, she said. They did. She found Krez and the others. Ready? She asked. Krez smiled. Always. Final Senna. Kayla stood at the command deck, surrounded by guards, smoke, and sirens. Vorox entered from the other side. So, he said, the cage couldn't hold you. Kayla raised her hand. It never did, she said. The lights exploded. The deck. The warship Ravager's claw drifted through space like a wounded animal. It had once been a place of fear, but now, something had changed, something big. Kayla had taken control, but her fight wasn't over yet. Not even close. The calm before the storm. Kayla stood in the ship's main command room. The air smelled of burnt wires and smoke. Sparks flickered from broken panels. The body of a dead guard lay in the corner. Krez walked up behind her. You did it, he said softly. You beat Vorox. Kayla didn't smile. He's not dead, she said. Not yet. Drask, Vorox's second-in-command, had escaped. And Vorox? He had vanished after their last fight. Some said he was wounded. Others said he was building something. Planning something. Kayla looked at the screen. The ship's systems were still damaged. Communications were weak. The engines worked. But barely. The ship is strong, she said. But it's still a prison. A plan to escape. Kayla gathered the rebel crew in the war room. A wide space filled with holograms and star maps. We can't stay here, she said. Vorox will come back. Maybe with help, Krez nodded. But we don't have a way out. All the escape pods were locked. Kayla pointed at a map. There's a transport dock on Deck 12. It connects to old fighter ships. Vorox used it to deliver weapons. A young rebel girl raised her hand. Those ships are locked too. Kayla's eyes glowed faintly. Not for me. The hunt begins as Kayla and her team moved through the ship toward Deck 12. Strange things began to happen. Doors opened by themselves. Lights flickered, and deep inside the ship, something growled. Krez whispered, "He's still here, Vorox." Kayla nodded. "He's watching us." They kept moving. Quiet. Careful. The trap's on deck 10. The floor exploded. A trap. Metal arms shot out from the walls, grabbing 2 rebels. One screamed. Kayla turned quickly, raised her hand, and crushed the machine with a wave of energy. She pulled the rebel out. Alive, but bleeding. "He's trying to scare us," she said. "It won't work." Vorox's voice, as they reached deck 11, speakers on the wall crackled. Then came his voice. "You think you've won, little human?" Vorox said, calm and cold. "You think power means breaking machines and lifting rocks?" Kayla stopped walking. "You don't understand what real power is," Vorox continued. "But you will. I'll show you." Kayla didn't reply. She kept walking. The fighter ships. They reached deck 12. The room was huge. Fighter ships lined both sides, sleek and black, each with weapons still loaded. Krez ran to the control panel. "It's locked," he said. "But not fully." Kayla stepped forward. She touched the panel. Energy. Spark. The lock broke. The doors to the ships opened with a hiss. The rebels cheered. "We're getting out." Someone shouted, "Ambush," but just then, the lights went dark. A red alarm blared. Metal doors slammed shut behind them. They were trapped. Vorox stepped out of the shadows. He was taller now, stronger, his body covered in new black armor, powered by dark energy. "You stole my ship," he growled. "Now I take it back." He raised his hand. A wave of force hit the rebels, throwing them back. Kayla versus Vorox. Round Twakela stood between him and her people. "No more games," she said. She charged forward. Vorox blocked her attack. They clashed, energy against energy, strength against strength. The floor cracked under their feet. Kayla flew back, hit a wall, then stood up again. Vorox laughed. "You're strong, but not strong enough." Kayla wiped blood from her lip. "You always talk too much." Power unleashed. Kayla closed her eyes. She breathed in, and then she let go. The power inside her exploded like a star. The room filled with white light. Her feet lifted off the ground. Her hair floated. Her eyes glowed pure gold. Vorox charged again. She stopped him with a single glance. He froze, body shaking. "No," he whispered. "That's not possible." Kayla raised her hand, and with a roar, she threw him across the room. Freedom for all with Vorox down. Kayla turned to the ships. "Everyone aboard," she shouted. The rebels ran into the fighters. Kayla stood by the door, holding off guards still. Loyal to Vorox, she didn't kill them. She didn't need to. Her presence alone made them drop their weapons. Krez called out from a ship, "We're ready." Kayla ran inside the last fighter. The engines roared to life. The escape, the hangar doors opened. One by one, the fighters launched into space. Kayla's ship was last. She looked out the window. The Ravagers. Claw faded behind them. Smoke rising. Systems dying. And inside, Vorox defeated, but not dead. Not yet. A new base. The ships flew for hours. Finally, they landed on a hidden moon. Cold, rocky, but safe. Krez found an old bunker underground. The rebels began setting up camp. Kayla helped carry supplies. She wasn't a queen or a goddess. She was just human. But they looked at her with hope. She had saved them, and they believed in her now. The quiet moment. That night, Kayla stood outside the bunker. She looked at the stars. She thought of Earth. Of her mother's voice, of the pain, the loss, the fight, and the spark inside her that had never gone out. Krez walked up behind her. "You all right?" Kayla nodded. "Just thinking." "We're safe now," he said. Kayla looked at him. "For now." The warning back on the Ravager's claw, deep inside the ship. Vorox sat in the darkness. His armor cracked. His face bruised, but he was smiling. "She doesn't know what she started," he whispered. "She thinks power is light. But real power is darkness." He reached into a secret chamber. Inside was a black cube, pulsing with dark energy. He touched it, and his eyes turned red. Final lines on the moon. Kayla stood tall. Wind blew through her hair. The moon was quiet. Cold winds blew across the surface. The sky above was filled with stars, but Kayla could feel something was wrong. She stood at the edge of a cliff, looking out into the endless dark. Behind her, the rebel camp was busy. People building shelters, fixing ships, healing wounds. But Kayla stayed alone. She closed her eyes. And then she heard it. A voice, not with ears, but deep in her mind. "You cannot run forever, little girl." Her eyes opened sharply. Vu rocks. The black signal, far away, deep in space, inside the broken ship Ravager's claw. Something pulsed, a black cube. Device older than any alien race. A machine of ancient evil. Vu rock stood before it, his body healed by the dark energy. His armor was darker now. His eyes glowed red. He placed both hands on the cube. And sent a signal, not to Kayla, but to something beyond her. Dreams turned to nightmares. That night, Kayla slept in a small room inside the rebel bunker. Krez had set up a warm space for her. Blankets, food, lights, but she could not rest. As soon as her eyes closed, the dreams returned. But they were not dreams. They were visions. She saw fire again, earth burning, her mother screaming. She saw Vurox, and behind him, a shadow. Tall, giant, not a person, but a shape, a creature without form. Its voice shook the stars. "She has awakened the spark, and now we come." Kayla sat up, covered in sweat. Telling the truth, Kayla called a meeting the next morning. The rebels, tired and still healing, gathered in the bunker hall. Krez stood beside her. Kayla stepped forward. "Something worse is coming," she said. People stared. "I used my power to stop Vurox, but it wasn't just my power. I carry something inside me, something old, something not from Earth." Krez added, "She told me before. Her parents were scientists. They found ancient tech. That tech changed her." A young rebel girl asked, "So are you human?" Kayla nodded slowly. "I am. But I'm also something more." No one spoke. Then a voice from the back said, "We believe you." And others nodded. The visitor hours later, an alarm blared. Something was coming. Fast. From the sky. Kayla ran outside and looked up. A ship, small, sleek, black. It landed slowly on the edge of the cliff. Everyone grabbed weapons. Kayla raised a hand. "Wait." The ship door opened, and one person stepped out. Vu rocks. But he was different now. His armor was alive, his eyes red. His skin looked darker, almost like stone. Krez aimed his blaster. "Let me shoot him now." Kayla stepped forward. "No, this is mine." The conversation. Vurox stood calmly. He looked around. "So, this is your new kingdom, dirt and rocks?" Kayla didn't answer. He stepped closer. "I came to talk," he said. Kayla raised an eyebrow. "You? Talk?" "Yes," Vurox replied. "Because soon there will be nothing left to talk about." He pointed at the stars. "They're coming. The ones who built the cube. The ones who gave me this power." Kayla frowned. "You think you control them?" "I don't need to," he said. "I just need to survive. But you're a threat to them." He stepped closer. "Join me, Kayla, one last time. We can fight them together." She shook her head. "You don't fight evil by becoming it." His face turned cold. "Then die with the rest." He turned and walked back to his ship. Kayla whispered, "Wait." He stopped. She said quietly, "Why did you really come?" Vurox turned slightly. "To see if you're ready." Then he left, preparing for war that night. The rebels worked hard. They set up shields, fixed weapons, repaired old ships. Kayla trained alone. Her powers were stronger now, but also wilder. Sometimes, when she touched metal, it melted. When she got angry, lights exploded. Krez watched her with concern. "You need control," he said. Kayla nodded. "I know." Flashback. Her mother's secret. Kyla sat alone later, thinking about her past. She remembered a box her mother used to keep hidden. Inside it were drawings, notes, symbols from ancient times. One paper had a single line written in her mother's hand. "The spark chooses, but the spark also burns." Kayla finally understood. Her power wasn't just a gift, it was a test. The shadow. Fall's days passed. The sky grew darker, even though it was space. Something covered the stars. A cloud. A massive black object. Like a ship, but alive. The ancient enemy had arrived. Kayla felt their presence. Every part of her body shook. Not with fear, but with rage. They had taken her world. They had made her a weapon. Now they came to destroy what was left. Final choice. Kayla gathered the rebels again. "This may be the last stand," she said. "No one is forcing you to fight. You can leave, hide, run." No one moved. Krez stepped forward. "You saved us. We'll stay." Others nodded. One by one, they stood behind her. Kayla smiled, not because she felt hope, but because she knew they were ready. The storm begins. The black sky opened. Creatures dropped from it, tall, armored, glowing with red lines. Machines followed, crawling across the ground like spiders. Weapons fired. The rebel camp shook. Kayla stood in the center. Calm. She raised her hands. A wall of energy burst around her people, blocking the first attack. She turned to the others. "Hold the line," she said. Kayla versus the darkness. She ran toward the enemy, faster than sound. She flew through the air, striking hard. Every enemy she touched exploded in light, but they kept coming, more and more. Then she saw it. A huge figure in the center. Not Vorox, but something worse. A shape from her dreams. The shadow with no face. It moved like smoke. It spoke without a mouth. "You were not meant to rise." Kayla didn't answer. She lifted both hands. Power filled the air. She screamed, not in fear, but in fury, and everything turned white. The cliffside after the blast. Silence. Smoke. Ash. Kael stood on a broken cliff. The sky was clear again. The black cloud gone. The enemy defeated. Krez ran up to her, limping. "You did it," he said. Kayla shook her head. "We did." She looked at the stars, but something still felt wrong. One last visitor. A ship approached. Small, old. It landed softly. The door opened. A figure walked out. Human. An old man, with silver hair and kind eyes. Kayla stared. He said, "I knew your mother." Kayla stepped forward. "Who are you?" "I was part of the old team," he said. "The one that found the spark. We thought it was lost." "But it chose you?" Kayla asked. "Why now?" He looked at her. Kayla stood in the middle of the battlefield. The smoke had cleared. The sky was calm. But her heart was not. The creatures from the black cloud were gone. The ancient shadow had vanished. Her people were safe. For now, but Kayla knew it was not over. She looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there, the real enemy was still watching. The stranger, the old man, stepped closer. His voice was calm, but his eyes were heavy with secrets. "My name is Elias," he said. "I was with your mother a long time ago." Kayla turned to face him. "You knew her?" He nodded. "We were part of the Star Seekers, a hidden group of humans. We studied ancient energy, long before Earth fell." Kayla's chest tightened. "She never told me that." "She couldn't," Elias said. "She was protecting you. You are the last carrier of the spark, the final key." Kayla frowned. "Key to what?" Elias stepped forward and handed her a metal cube. It glowed faintly in her hands. "To the Ark," he said. "And to the truth." A warning Krez entered the room quickly, holding a damaged communication tablet. "We picked up something strange," he said. A signal, weak, repeating. Kayla took it and listened. It was a voice, broken, low, and full of static. "If you can hear this, the Ark is not safe. They lied." The voice stopped. Kayla looked at Elias. "What's the Ark?" Elias looked down. "The last hidden human station. A place built before the invasion. It was meant to protect our kind." He paused, but something went wrong. Decision time. Kayla sat with the rebel leaders. Later that night, some were scared. Some were ready to follow her anywhere. Kayla stood before them. "There's a place out there. A station called the Ark. Maybe it has answers. Maybe it has survivors." Krez asked, "And maybe it's a trap?" Kayla nodded. "Maybe, but I have to go." The room went quiet. Then Krez said, "Then we go with you." The others agreed. The journey begins. They took the fastest ship, small, fast and armed. Kayla sat in the front with Elias and Krez beside her. The cube glowed as they moved closer to the Ark's location. Space was dark and silent. But Kayla felt something strange in the air, like they were being watched. Again. The Ark, after 3 days. The ship reached a large dark structure, hidden in an asteroid field. The Ark was massive, shaped like a floating city. It had once been beautiful. Now, it was broken. Parts of it had fallen apart. Lights flickered. No signals were coming out. Krez looked at the readings. "Life signs, very faint." Elias frowned. "We're too late." Kayla didn't speak. She stood and grabbed her gear. "We go in." Inside the Ark, the doors opened slowly. Dust floated in the air. Walls were cracked. Machines dead. But as they walked deeper, they saw signs of old life. Pictures of Earth. Symbols Kayla recognized from her mother's books. And words written in red. "Paint on the wall. Do not wake them." Krez read it out loud. "Wake who?" No one answered. The survivor in a control room. They found a body. Not dead, just frozen in a stasis pod. Elias checked the panel. "She's alive, barely." Kayla placed her hand on the glass. Suddenly, the pod opened with a hiss. The woman inside gasped and fell forward. Her eyes opened slowly. You carry the spark," she whispered. Kayla helped her up. "Who are you?" "My name is Mira," the woman said. "I was the Ark's protector. Until they came." The secret history. Mira told them everything. There was never just one spark. There were many, in different people. From different times, but one by one, they were hunted. She pointed to the walls. The Ark was built as a vault, to hide those chosen by the spark. But then, one of us betrayed the rest. He opened the door, and the darkness came. Kayla stepped back. "Vorox?" Mira shook her head. "No, someone older. More powerful." She looked at Elias. And Elias lowered his head. Truth revealed. Kayla turned to Elias. "What is she talking about?" Elias sighed. "She's right. A long time ago, I made a mistake. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I thought I could control the power. I thought I could protect us." Kayla's hands trembled. "You knew what I was, and you used me to find this place?" "No," Elias said quickly. "I wanted to fix what I broke. I thought you could help. I still believe that." Kayla turned away. Krez stepped forward. "Now's not the time for blame. If someone dangerous is still alive, we need to stop them." The heart of the Ark. Mira guided them to the center of the station. A room filled with crystal lights and strange machines. In the middle, a throne. Empty. "That's where he sat," Mira whispered. "The betrayer." Suddenly, the room darkened. The lights turned red. A low hum filled the air, and a deep voice echoed. "You finally returned." The betrayer. Lives from the shadows stepped a man, tall, thin, eyes black like space. His body was covered in ancient tech. He looked at Kayla. So you're the Spark Reborn. Kayla clenched her fists. Who are you? I was the first, he said. The first to be chosen. But I saw the truth. The spark is not a gift, it's a chain. He raised his hand. Power flowed through him, dark, heavy, cold. I broke my chain. And now, I'll break you. The battle in the Arcala stepped forward. Her body glowed golden. The betrayer launched. A wave of black fire. Kayla pushed back with light. The station shook. Walls cracked. Myra and Krez ran to safety. Elias watched, silent, knowing this was the moment. Kayla screamed and hit the betrayer with a beam of light. But he laughed. You're strong, he said. But not complete. Kayla focused harder. Her mother's voice echoed in her mind. The spark chooses. But only the brave control it. She let go of her fear, and the light inside her exploded. The final strike. Akila flew forward, her body glowing like a star. She punched the betrayer with all her strength. His tech cracked. He tried to rise, but it was too late. Kayla whispered, "This ends now." And the room filled with light, silence when it cleared. He was gone. Only dust remained. Kayla fell to her knees, exhausted. Mira rushed to her. "You did it." Krez smiled. "We're alive." Eliza stepped closer. "I'm sorry for everything." Kayla looked up. "We all have a past. But now we build something new." The signal sent before leaving. Kayla found a working terminal. She sent a message into space. To all human survivors. "This is Kayla. We have taken the Ark. The enemy is..." The stars shone brightly over the Ark. Kayla stood on the highest tower, looking out into space. The battle was over. The betrayer was gone. The darkness had lifted. But Kayla knew this was only the beginning. A new dawn inside the Ark. The rebels gathered. Their faces were tired but hopeful. Krez stepped forward and spoke. "We lost much, but we gained something more. Hope." Kayla nodded. "The spark is inside all of us. Not just me." The room grew quiet. "We are not just survivors," Kayla continued. "We are fighters. We will rebuild. We will rise." The message. Kayla prepared another message to send out. Her voice was calm but strong. "To all humans who hear this, we are here. We are alive. The spark has returned. Join us. Together we will take back our future." She looked at Elias. He smiled. "You've become the leader we needed." Kayla smiled back. "No, we are all leaders now." New challenges, but not everything was easy. Supplies were low. The Ark systems needed repairs. Some rebels doubted. Others feared the future. Kayla worked with everyone. She listened. She learned. She taught. The arrival one day. Sensors picked up a ship approaching. The rebels gathered. Kael. They stood at the front. The ship landed gently. A group of humans stepped out, tired, but alive. They carried stories. Stories of survival. Stories of other colonies, reunions, and losses. Among the newcomers was a woman named Lyra. She knew Kayla's mother. She told Kayla about the past, the sacrifices, the lost battles. Kayla listened, tears in her eyes. She realized the fight was bigger than her. It was for everyone. The Spark Grauskala trained new fighters. She taught them how to use their power. Some could control fire. Others could move fast. Some could heal wounds. The spark was alive in many now. Dark shadows returned, but peace did not last long. Scouts reported dark ships near the outer moons. The ancient enemy was coming back. They were stronger, more prepared. Preparing for war. Kayla and her council made plans. They rebuilt weapons. Built defenses. They sent messages to other colonies. "Prepare," Kayla said. "The real war is coming." The final battle. The enemy attacked suddenly. Ships filled the sky. Lasers fired. The Ark shook. Kayla led the fight. She used her power to protect the Ark. The rebels fought bravely. The turning point during the battle, Kayla faced the enemy leader. He was huge, with dark armor and glowing eyes. They fought fiercely. Kayla's power shone bright. She remembered her mother's words. The spark is not just strength. It is courage. With a final burst, Kayla defeated him. Victory and hope. The enemy fled. The rebels cheered. Kayla looked at the stars. "We won today," she said, "but we must stay strong." The spark was a flame now, a flame that would never die. A new beginning. Kayla gathered the survivors. "We will rebuild Earth," she said. "We will find others. We will bring peace." Her voice was clear and strong. The rebels smiled. The spark had risen, and so had hope. Final words. Kayla looked to the sky. She whispered, "Power is not in fear, it is in hope. It is in us."